to keep himself alive. The man urgently opens the refrigerator door, then he reaches for the melted ice, and then quickly puts it in his mouth. Soon after, he gathers the crumbs together again, and then he sucks it in like jelly, and sucks it into his mouth as if it were jelly. But that's not enough to quench his thirst, it was just enough to satisfy his teeth. Not satisfied, he lay on his back, and felt the last of the warmth. He was enjoying himself very much, but the next moment, he cried inside the fridge. But soon, he wiped away his tears. He left the refrigerator reluctantly, with just a little bit of crushed ice. Wouldn't be enough to quench his thirst. He went back to the fish tank. He tries to touch the water with his hand, then take it out and put it in his mouth to taste it. The result was a tank of seawater for fish. Luckily, he found another green plant in the house. Obviously, where there's greenery, there's water. When he climbed over to check, there was still no water in the pipes. Even the water in the swimming pool was seawater. As a burglar, the man couldn't understand. There wasn't even a drop of drinkable water in the mansion. He should have known better than to steal from this family. He thought that by stealing a few paintings, he'd get a good price when he got out. Once he got the money, he wouldn't have to steal anymore. When he was about to leave, he misplaced his password. What's worse, the mansion has a protection system. At the moment of entering the wrong password, the doors and windows of the mansion were instantly closed. When his companion found out what happened, they left immediately. The man who realized he had been abandoned was furious. He couldn't understand. After 3 years of partnership, had left him with a heart of gold, but now is not the time to reminisce. We need to find a way to get out of here. To shut down the alarm. He tried to look for clues on the access control, but he accidentally broke it. In this predicament, he simply destroyed all the alarms. Now the alarms are no longer disturbing. The man could finally find his way out in peace. As he looked around, he came to the door. He realized that the door in front of him was made of wooden planks. If he cut a hole in it, he could safely escape. Then he cut a small hole, but when he struck it with his dagger, the result was a loud, clear sound. All for nothing. Desperate, he lay on the table, and tried to pin his hopes on his companions again, but still nothing came of it. At this point, he finally recognized that he had been abandoned, but soon he was not ready to give up. He went to the refrigerator. He looked at the food that he normally couldn't eat, and then, he took out a cookie. He scraped off the ice with a knife, and put a bit of expensive caviar on the cracker. And that was a simple supper. And after he'd eaten his fill, the man went to his bedroom and slept. The next morning, he went back to looking for another way out. Although there was a phone and a computer on the desk, but the phone was not working, and the computer had no cable. There's no exit from the mansion. It's completely closed. As he continued to look for an exit, he was surprised to see from the surveillance camera the maid in charge of cleaning the mansion. He didn't have time to think about it and rushed to the front door, waiting for the maid to come in to clean the house. But what he didn't expect was, the maid didn't come in to clean the room. She just left. Seeing the straw that saved his life gone, he fell into despair again. The next morning, as the man continued to search for a way out of the mansion, he heard the sound of water. It turned out to be water coming from the previous pipe. And went crazy and sucked the water from the pipe. After a brief replenishment, he continued to look for a way out of the house, but he found a hidden door in the closet. The passage was very narrow. Only one person could pass through it. He cautiously groped his way up, but he was startled by something. But he seemed to be frightened by something. He thought there was a way out, so he adjusted himself. He chose to go back into the room again. When he walked in, he realized he found the body of a model lying on the floor. He was puzzled by this. Why would the rich man put a model? Why would the tycoon put a model in this altar-like place? But there's no way out of this chamber. The next morning, he was sitting on the couch again, trying to find another way to escape. At that moment, he accidentally glanced upwards, and realized that the light on the roof was made of glass. At that moment, the man seemed to have an idea. Can he escape?